Hey lovies, welcome back to my channel. So I finally have a makeup tutorial for you guys. I got a lot of feedback on my story about a couple weeks ago on this look, so I wanted to recreate it and do the makeup tutorial for you guys. So of course I'm going to prime my skin. I'm using the Laura Mercier. This is their Foundation Protect. So this primer has SPF in it. I'm very particular when it comes to the summertime and wearing sunscreen under my foundation. So this is a good primer if you want to do that. So loving this foundation so much, I cannot put it down. This is the Skin by Mented. This is Mented Cosmetics new foundation stick. So what I'm doing is using the color T40 all over my face, just applying a generous amount. Then I'm going to take T30 and put it in my highlighted areas. And you guys will be surprised I did not use any concealer, just these two foundations for like a skin base. So you guys see that I'm putting it in areas that I would normally highlight my face, and I'm just going to do that. So taking Mented Cosmetics brush, it's a very short, dense brush, so that's going to help blend in that creamy type of foundation. So what I like to do is blend in the color T40 first, and then I go ahead and blend in where the lighter color is, which is T30. So usually I like to just lightly do short strokes for the concealer just so I'm not dragging it out of place because I do want it to stay under my eyes. And then for my hairline and the perimeter of my face, I kind of drag outwards. So just trying to make sure that blends in with my hairline. And if you guys see here, the foundation looks really smooth, kind of gives like a natural glow. So to set under my eyes and the majority of my face, I'm using the Laura Mercier. This is their translucent powder, but this is the medium to deep color. So I'm just packing it under my eye, and I'm just going to do that all over my face. Some people like to use a lighter color. Some people use um, different type loose powders, pressed powders, just depending on what I'm doing. That's what I'm using, and that was next to me. I really like that product, so I'm gonna just use that and put it all over my face. So next to contour, I'm using the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette. So I'm using the middle shade as almost like a, what do I call it, like a buffer shade. It almost helps give like a, not necessarily bronzy, but it's like what I call the before contour. So it gives like a light contour and helps as a medium for the darker contour. Don't know exactly how to put that into words properly, but in my mind that makes sense to me. So I'm using the deeper shade, and I'm going to put that in the hollows of my cheeks. And I like to blend in circular motions because if you drag up and down or side to side, you kind of get like this streaky looking contour, and I'd rather it almost look like a buffed in look. And I also like to contour the perimeters of my face, especially my jawline. So moving ahead to the eyes, I'm using the BH Cosmetics with It's My Raye Raye makeup palette. They have a makeup palette as well as a brush set. Super affordable, great bright colors. I feel like it's really, really pretty for summer. So I'm going to use that purple shade and just use that windshield wiper motions in my crease to give it like a nice purple transition shade. So I'm going to add just a little bit more just to make it a little bit deeper. That color is called Majesty, in case you're wondering. So next I'm taking that smaller brush and taking that T30 Mented Cosmetics foundation. And I'm kind of creating like a little bit of like a cut crease or like a clean palette for my lids so I can pack on some color. You can use your foundation, concealer, MAC's paint pots, or NYX's Milk, whichever you feel like using, but I just want to use the foundation. Next, I'm using the MAC's Art Library palette. I'm using their bright pink shade. If you have like a bright neon kind of pink, this would work really well. And I'm packing it on the lid. And the reason why I say pack is because when you dust eyeshadow on your lid, you lose a lot of color. So if you want the most intensity of a color, you want to make sure that you take a eyeshadow brush and pack the color on the lid. And then I'm going to take that other lighter portion that's from the same eyeshadow palette. It's called Top Notch, and I'm also packing that in the inner corner of my eye, so it kind of gives like a gold, pink to purple. So next I'm taking that purple from the MAC palette and I'm sorry, the purple from the It's My Raye Raye palette and the black from the MAC palette, and I'm going to blend that to deepen and define the outer portion of my eye, kind of give it like a smoky effect. So what I like to do is take my blending brushes and kind of blend the eyeshadows, but sometimes kind of gets out of line, so I just take my foundation brush and clean that up. Next, I'm taking the Jouer Cosmetics. This is their matte jet black kitten liner. It has a felt tip, so it's very good for accuracy, especially if you're not very fond of using like a gel liner or it's a little bit difficult for you. I like felt tips that have a very thin tip because it helps to create that cat eye. And I feel like everybody's shape of the cat eye is different, so whichever works on your eye shape is fine with me. Next, I'm going to use the KS Vanity. This is their lash. I believe this one, oh, this one's the Piper Lash. So I'm just going to use some of that Ardell Duo, it's the brush on glue, and apply that. I like the way this lash looks because it's kind of like sparse. It's not too full, but the length is there. And I'm probably sure you all were wondering, like, what happened to my eyebrows? But I just decided to do them last. Don't ask me why. But this is the MAC Cosmetics Eyebrow Styler instead. So now to apply some blush, I'm using the Urban Decay's Naked Cherry. This is their highlight and blush palette, but I'm just going to use the blush to kind of give it like a pinky look. So to highlight, I'm going to use that same Black Radiance palette and just use that highlighting shade to do, you know, my cheekbones, my bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, and then I'm going to lock that in with some Pixi Rose Glow Mist. So for my lips, I'm going to use J. Manuel's lip liner in Hex. My favorite thing to do is use a brown lip liner and apply it to almost any type of pink or nude shade. It just helps bring back that natural lip line to my lips. And then I'm going to use the Makeup Forever's Plexiglass in 101. So I just like to line it, blend it with my finger, and the look is done. So I hope you guys loved it, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again on my next tutorial.